So happy to be talking to you today. Thank you. Yes, we're in the Rogers Center where you'll be performing, the biggest arena show for you guys in Canada, basically in your own backyard. 40,000 people screaming your music back to you. What are the emotions you're feeling?
It's finally here, the big gig. You know, it's incredible to be here. A place I've seen a ton of baseball games, a place I've seen Metallica, and a place that I get to do a guitar solo tonight. Very exciting.
Well, I was mentioning to you before we started to record, I've watched you guys many times in concert. You're always headliners. This is the rare time that you guys have chosen to open for someone else, that being Blink 182. How does the prep change for a kind of moment like this?
It's a different kind of show, I think, because we're not playing for a really long time. We're just going to come out swinging, just bangers. And it's really cool to be playing with them. They're a band that I grew up listening to, a band we played with a very, very long time ago. And they personally asked us to do this gig, which is very, very cool. So we're excited.
You spoke about, seeing Metallica here, some Jays games. So when you actually look out in the crowd that will be here tonight, I'm sure a lot of friends and family, what memories come up in your mind thinking about this?
I was at those early 90s World Series games with my dad. He had season tickets back then. I was so young, I don't really remember much of it. I remember being there, and so hope to be a little bit more present tonight, take it all in.
I want to know how present you were for another iconic moment in your career that happened within the last week. Right now, we're in the outfield of where the Jays would play. You were pretty much on the mound, throwing a ceremonial first pitch. Were you nervous? How'd you feel?
Oh my God. Playing the guitar at the Rogers Center, no big deal. Exciting. Throwing a pitch at a baseball game at the Rogers Center, nightmare.
Really?
I was so stressed out.
Really?
I got on the field, I just blacked out. Yeah. I came back into my body when I was like, is it going to make it?
Well, then, see, I wouldn't know this because you're so funny, you're so calm. When we see you on stage, you have such confidence. You released that hilarious video after. What was it like seeing the response to that as well?
It was good. I think I was probably the hardest on myself.
It was awesome.
The pitch was fine. What was really good is immediately walking up to my seats, my dad was like, I'm not going to say anything. And then one of my buddies called me on FaceTime, laughed at me.
No.
And then a really young kid walked up and was like, his dad was like, he wants to meet the pitcher from the Blue Jays.
Hey.
And I was like, hey, little guy. So it's all good.
So will you be coming up from the bullpen maybe in the future?
I think I had my one shot, and that was it,
I think you're hilarious. People tell you this all the time, but why haven't you done a stand-up gig or tour? Have you thought about this? How many times have you been approached by this?
I think if there's one thing that would probably be more stressful than throwing out a ceremonial first pitch, it would be doing stand-up comedy.
Okay, so that is a hard no to that, but something else you do is your own DJ sets. I believe there's one tonight.
We're doing one tonight at the Velvet Underground after the gig. And it's like a thing I've started doing, there's always Alexisonfire after parties when we do shows. So now they're just my after parties.
Well, what do you kind of get from that creatively, besides you're giving such another awesome time for people?
It's cool. It's honestly, it reminds me of when we were touring and playing in smaller bars, So it's it feels, I would use the word, me being a DJ, pretty loose, So I think it's it feels more like a punk show, like a messy show that there's no barricade and everyone's just singing along and having a good time.